Here's your clicker.
Oh, awesome.
And that little boy over there, enthusiastic in the front crit, I have no idea who he is.
He's my son.
And is it just that one?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
I feel like I don't need to introduce myself now because he's done my speech for me. Cool. Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Shay, and like the slide says, I'm the founder of CaliWoods. My passion lies in sustainable living and contributing towards positive change in that sort of eco-space, looking after the whole earth environment, which includes both the natural environment and the human space as well. Cool. So the story that I'm going to tell you tonight started about 30 years ago here in New Zealand. The first 18 years of those were my childhood. My dad relentlessly telling me to turn off the lights, sort my recycling, and then heaps of native bushwalks, lots of time on the beach, and of course time surfing, like we said before. So that's been a massive part of my life. It's really given me a core appreciation for the natural environment and me wanting to protect what I love. So there's a couple of images there of the spaces that I really enjoy in my free time. Cool. So that first 18 years, I kind of got through pretty good, and then I went off to university, did an environmental science degree, and then decided that I wanted to travel the world. And I did that in the only way that a 23-year-old free-spirited Aquarian can do, and that's with no plan or intention. So I found myself meandering through Central America, and after a couple of years I was pretty sunburnt, had surfed heaps, and I had no money. I then found myself in the belly, conversely, of the super yacht industry. So that industry, I spent a lot of time sailing around the world. Took me to some of the most isolated places on the planet. I was very lucky. I was exposed to a lot of different people, lots of different culture, heaps of different natural environments. But I basically just went to the most profound thing with those isolated spaces in the world. So I literally was standing on patches of sand thinking, oh, holy crap, how many people have been here before me? And I knew that it wasn't many. But there was a real sad moment wrapped up in that too, is that when I really looked, all I could see were plastic bottles, plastic straws, little pieces of plastic, forgotten flip-flops. And I was just like, oh my gosh, how has human consumption followed me to these places? And it was kind of a bit of a moment. I spent a few more years floating around on the ocean, and it gives you a lot of time to contemplate. So when I came home, I sort of wrapped all of those experiences, all of those life skills that I've gained so far, and out the end of that spat, CaliWoods. So that's my business. I've been trading officially for a year and a half now. The retail product on the right-hand side of the slide there is in over 180 stores around the country now. And thanks guys. You are super friendly. Yeah, so from the very beginning, to be honest, I had no idea what the heck it was. I started under a 3x3 gazebo in the Sunday markets. But I always had that sustainability focused and that real desire to inspire some positive change. So I wasn't too sure what it was going to turn into, but it kind of just turned into this singular focused business, Reusable Straws, and then I work with hospitality as well to try and get them to reduce their waste. So the two things that I've found that have come out of CaliWoods, which has been really awesome, is that, yeah, it's just straws, but it's quite cool what can happen from little things. So people take home packs of straws, and then all of a sudden they're noticing straws in restaurants, and then they're taking their keep cup to get their coffee every day. It's really, I've actually personally seen just like so many changes on a base level, which is, I kind of messed up the slides, sorry guys. Yeah, so I've kind of just seen that, which has been super inspiring and given me a lot of motivation to keep going as well. And then the other cool thing that's come out of it is it's a voice. You know, no one listens to Shay, but people listen to CaliWoods, which is really cool, and it's kind of one and the same, so I'm being a little bit tricky there. But yeah, it's really, really cool. On social media, you know, I can share a whole lot of messages, not just about straws, but about sustainable living in general. So that's been super inspiring. So keeping with the ethos of the business, which is sharing eco-information, I'm going to use the rest of my time with you guys to share 4 messages which I think are basically really important in the waste sustainability space at the moment, which you might or might not know about. And the first one being is we're in a waste crisis. It's very serious. So China officially 2018 shut its gates. They said no more. We're not taking anything. They used to take all of our recycling, all of our waste, the same with the States, EU, Australia, they took everything, and now they're not. So we effectively are stockpiling at the moment. And I don't know if many people know this, but it should be common knowledge, and it's kind of not. That anything that's going into your recycling bin today is just being held and potentially going to landfill tomorrow. So positive action that can come out of that is everyone needs to really, really start tomorrow refusing single use. So we use a lot of things and we only use them for a small amount of time. This is super important. My eco message too is, who knows about microplastics? Hands up. Cool. Bit of an educated audience. That's awesome. So officially, microplastics are plastics that are less than 5 millimeters in size of a sesame seed. They're insidious. They're now everywhere. It's pretty scary. They're been found in Antarctic and Arctic ice. They're in our soils. They're in our food chain, and they're in us now too. We're just getting into the science of this topic, and I think from a personal perspective, I could be wrong on this, but I think it's going to be a pretty massive issue in the future. We're going to see a lot of information coming out about it. So what you can do, buy natural fibre clothes. So about 40% of the microplastics that are in the ocean actually come from our clothing, believe it or not. So you wash synthetic clothes, goes down the drain, straight into the ocean, straight into the food chain, straight into us. So focus on natural fibre clothing, and if you can, avoid washing your synthetics so frequently. And then linking back to that first point is essential plastic products only. Every single piece of plastic that's ever been made still exists in some form. It can't go away. There's no way. It just breaks down to smaller and smaller pieces. So it's really important that we all think about the things that we're using. And of course it affects these other guys too. We're not the only creatures on the earth. Sometimes we like to think we are, but we're not. Okay, my eco message 3 is businesses follow consumer demand. So there's a lot of bottom-up pressure. It's causing heaps of changes from big corporate spaces. They're investing. They're really pumped on sustainability, and it's because of you guys. You're voting with your consumer dollar. So conscious consumerism is massive. And then lastly, your individual actions add up. So don't underestimate the power of what you guys are doing. You know, you're taking your reusable bags, having coffee cups and stuff like that. All of those little things really do matter, and that's a pretty good little picture up there. What difference is one plastic bottle going to make? Said 7 billion people. Cool, so my challenge is everybody in this room, if you can take one thing tonight and make a change tomorrow, imagine the collective action that we've already had is pretty massive. So, you know, sticking with that one habit and then following through on it. And I'm going to just leave you with Robert Swan. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that somebody else will save it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.